Hey everyone, welcome back to the boring life. I wonder if the lighting is okay. We have a bit of natural lighting. It should all be good. I keep on forgetting to adjust the audio because I tend to be a little further away from the mic when I'm doing the video, the vlog. I'm a little frazzled right now. As I was about to record this, I dropped one of my mics. And so this is the mic I use, and well, I dropped it, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's supposed to have an on and off switch, and that doesn't exist anymore. So, oh man, it's just so upsetting. Like, it's not like I blew up my laptop or anything, but god, it just sucks. Like, it just rolled off my table and I couldn't grab it in time, and I thought I even helped break the fall, and it just, I think, landed weird. And I tried unscrewing it with like a screwdriver right before I recorded all this, and oh god, yeah, so that sound came out from my external monitor as well. Oh, it's just one of those days. So if this is the first time you're tuning into the vlog, you might be confused on why it is so sad and depressing. Well, generally, it's not that bad, but I also would like to show what really actually happens in my week. And so, welcome to the boring life. The purpose of this vlog is to show a week in the life of entrepreneurship, and specifically the entrepreneurship that I go through in creating my platform called OMD Ventures. And if you're curious about what OMD Ventures does, just check out the site at omdventures.com. But long story short, it's a media and investment platform. Well, ideally, I have that vision for it, and the whole purpose behind it is to create utopian organizations, and I want to do it by helping people unlock their potential. And right now, it's just the process of what it's like every week as I try to build this and build my career over the next decades to come. And yeah, I've been on this journey for more than a year now. I would say, I guess officially it's just been about a year since I decided to make OMD Ventures into a real thing, because I didn't plan on going down this route. I thought I'd just get a job. But anyhow, so if you're tuning back in, thanks for tuning in again. So what happened this week? What are the major developments? So I think last week, so we're just continuing. I think we're at episode 11 now, and the week that we are talking about is, let's see, it's June 10th to June 16th, 2019. And yeah, so I was supposed to have a lot of key discussions this week, and it all kind of stems from the fact that I gave myself some kind of, let me rephrase that. I'm going away to Vancouver on the 25th of June, and it's kind of more of a internal quarterly offsite I've given myself. So I'm trying to do something where every 3 months, every quarter, I take 2 weeks off to kind of reconnect with myself and just give myself a break, give myself some more headspace, because it does get very tiring when you're just doing all this by yourself all the time, and it never goes away, right? So I wanted to have some kind of loose ends tied up before I went to Vancouver, and that included the priority of getting some kind of consulting / like employment agreement settled, where I would get to do the kind of people development, organizational development work that I've been trying to do for the past year. And so I've been having a number of conversations with a number of organizations, and one particular organization was out in Europe, and I have a couple of friends that work there, and I was very excited to meet the CEO. We've been talking offline about scheduling the meeting for about 8 months, something like that. Like, it happened last year, and we were supposed to meet this week, And then it got pushed back by another 3 months because they said, "Oh, we're probably not gonna hire anyone until September." And I said, "Oh, do you just want to talk about it? I still want to talk to you about, kind of positioning who I am and how we could work together and what your company does and all that." And nope, just a straight up decline of the meeting. And so that was very frustrating, very upsetting. And I was also talking with an incubator, trying to build out a program there, reached out. Well, so we chatted, we kind of agreed on let's take it the next step further. And no replies to follow-ups, followed up again. And after it's been about a month now, realized that the person got back to me and said I slipped from their mind. And so they said, okay, well, let's reach back in like July or something. So that's also been pushed back. I finished my consulting engagement. I think I talked about that last time. And the company didn't reply back for about a week and a half to continue conversations or even to like just get paid. I haven't even gotten paid yet. And I think we're now going to be scheduling something for the end of this coming week. So maybe something will happen there. What else? What other organizations have rejected me? Oh, and there's another company where I've been speaking with them for months, like one of the co-founders for months, and also convincing them of the value of having a people performance kind of role, like people development role. And we've been talking about, I've been constantly sending research, constantly being ignored for months, but that's normal. Like most people, even if I've established relationships with them, they'll ignore me for months. Like I've sent more than 1,000 emails now, so I'm not too just turned off by it. Although it does suck. It honestly does suck, and I know it's not personal, but it does suck. But I also found out that the startup was I just hired someone in the people performance role, so it's kind of like oof, we talked about this. I kind of outlined what the role could do, and then we had no communication in for months. I got ghosted on like 4 different emails, and they hired someone else. So that was also kind of a slap in the face. And yeah, it's just it's just all very frustrating. It was just all very frustrating, and I think it's just I know that philosophically that the world doesn't care about you. You don't matter you don't matter, right? Like other people don't care about you. You think you matter, but you don't. And I've sent enough emails to people and have gotten tons of rejections to know that nobody gives a shit about me. And because the fact is, I'm not important. I'm not important to these people, and that's the same for most people. Everyone is very focused on what their problem is, and I totally get that. But I think it's also, something I want to share is that I think I want to share that it's normal to feel this way, because I felt bad about feeling this way, but on second thought I feel like no, it's fine to feel this way. It's fine to feel like it's shitty that you work so hard and you try to establish all these relationships and you feel like things are working out, you do work, you prove your value, and still people say, or people just not respond to you or just ignore you, and it sucks. It's worse than getting a no to be ignored, because then now you're just not even relevant. So that was the tough part this week, because I had a lot of emails I've been waiting to hear back from. So that was the tough part. And I think that's also why a lot of this week was focused on a lot of reading, and a lot of learning. I actually got obsessed over Naval Ravikant, the chairman and co-founder of AngelList. I've always been a huge fan of Naval, very huge fan. I listened to all his podcast episodes, but there's this recent one he did with Joe Rogan that I ended up, I re-listened to the entire 2.5 hours, I think 2 or 3 times now. And I listened to his entire 38 episode podcast series that he has 2 or 3 times now. And it was somewhat therapeutic for me, and I also included it in my newsletter. But it also definitely had me thinking more Um, can't really say I have gotten peace of mind over things, but I do feel better, and I think that's important. And I think that's important, especially when you're trying to constantly, keep going, pushing the agenda. Um, but yeah, so that's been the week. I think I've also been distracted because of that, and so like, it was frantic. I every Tuesday I prepare the weekly essay that I'm supposed to launch, and oh sorry, an essay goes out every Tuesday, but and so usually I have it prepared a week ahead on Wednesday, but my mind just wasn't there, and I had to also just you know bust my ass and work late, which is not ideal for me because I control my hours, but and I like to be creative more in the morning. I'm just not very creative at night, and so it was not ideal for my essay writing. But I wanted to keep the promise of launching everything weekly on Tuesdays, and so I struggled a little with that, but I achieved it thanks to the support of my loving girlfriend who sat by me and worked on her work while I did mine. So that's always very helpful. And but yeah, I don't want to dwell on the frustrating stuff. Although it's the honest depiction of what the week has been like. I would say though, like some big wins were, I set up my donation page. So that was something I've been working on for a while, and I'm very happy that I set up the donation page. I learned how to embed stuff and collect donations. I haven't received a single donation yet, but I've built it, and so I'm very happy about that. And so now I can move on to other stuff that are important. And yeah, so that's really cool. The theme about the donations is it's to just buy me coffee. It's like you would take someone out for coffee and you buy them a coffee if you took up 30 minutes or an hour of their time. Well, I'm writing essays. I'm doing podcast episodes for everyone for free. I'm sharing my learnings every week. I'm doing a vlog every week. And so I feel that, yeah, I add more than enough value every week, at least 16 hours of direct content value somewhere there. So then, yeah, if you really appreciate it, and if you wouldn't have accepted it any other way, then buy me a coffee. So that's the impetus behind the donation page. And the girlfriend's back. Hey, welcome back. Oh, it's all right. Somewhat of a live vlog. It's okay. Oh, now we have your laugh on it too. Oh no, they're gonna know. Where was I? And so that was a big win, having the donation page set up. And Toronto won the NBA Finals. I don't really care. I feel like I'll alienate so many fans by saying that, but I care in that. Yeah, it's nice that we won. I love it when an underdog wins, and Toronto was the underdog. Although I also love dynasties, and so I was torn between Toronto and Golden State because, unlike some other people, I don't really consider, Toronto to be like my home city, or I don't really consider any city to be my home city, anyways. But yeah, so that happened. It's a big deal for the city. It caused more traffic and noise than I would have preferred. Oh man, every time they won, the streets were so loud, and I had to put on earplugs or have some kind of meditative music in my ear so I could go to sleep. But yeah, but that was still fun. It was fun, great atmosphere, all the fun stuff that people like to do, go out and all that shit. I think a bigger highlight was how I was at a Starbucks, and this kind of elderly gentleman forgot his umbrella, and he was walking out, and I saw it, and I picked it up and I ran over and I gave him the umbrella. That was a highlight for me. I'm not trying to brag that I'm a good person, but I like doing it. It just makes you feel really good. Like, I felt really good about doing that, and call it loving myself too much, but I was very proud of myself and I was very happy about it. And I think that's the kind of stuff that I consider to be more of a highlight. Um, and I think another thing development wise has been just more of like the mindset shift on investing in investing in my time and investing in OMD Ventures. Like, I haven't made any actual income in the past year and a half now, or close to year and a half. And so, the way I've been able to sustain myself has been, living off my savings, but also like really penny pinching, just being very frugal, living a very frugal life. And that also included just not spending too much on even like all the services I use. Like a lot of the stuff I use to run OMD Ventures is free. But I've been learning to upgrade things like now. So I recently also actually, there's another development. I moved podcast host. So I used to be on Squarespace. Now I'm on a podcasting provider called Transistor. And so that was a whole lot of like administrative nightmare. Actually, not that bad, but I just hate doing that stuff. So that stuff I didn't want to do, but I had to do it. And now I'm going to be paying more money for that service, but it's better quality and it prepares me for when I want to start more podcasts and also, grow the platform in general. And so I think that's another thing I've been considering about how you have to pay up for things. And yeah, I think that's a mindset shift I'm trying to get more comfortable with. Like, it's just so investing in stocks is a no-brainer for me. Like, I've trained it to think a certain way, but this is different. This one didn't come naturally enough for me about investing in my own work. So like I've invested in podcast gear and a great top-notch gear, but like getting a workspace or getting an assistant, like these things can save me time or create an environment that'll let me thrive. And I think a lot of my struggles was also not having all these things and trying to just make ends meet. And it's not that I am so financially strapped that I can't do that, because these aren't that expensive. The workspace, yeah, but more like like administrative assistants and stuff, because it buys me time. So I think that's something I kind of got my head around. So I am thinking more about like how can I get an administrative assistant or hire people to help build out the platform on a kind of contractual basis and all that. So that's been another development. I'm also thinking about putting this out as a podcast too. I would ideally like to talk more, and I kept it to like the 20-minute mark because I felt like people would get bored. But yeah, I don't know. I guess you can tell me whether this is already too long. And like if you don't even like looking at me, then I think audio form is even better too. It's not like I do anything here. It's not like I look like Brad Pitt or some shit either. So maybe if I have a whole video team, I'd do other stuff. But yeah. What else happened? My medical card expired last year, and I finally got a new one. So I'm on the topic of investing in myself. I'm investing back into my health. Like I pay for it with my tax money. Although I haven't paid taxes in the past 2 years, so I'm kind of getting healthcare for free, or I've paid a lot for it before. So I guess I'm reaping the benefits of it now. But yeah, I didn't have a valid medical card for over a year, so I haven't gone to see a doctor in a long time as well. So I finally got that renewed. So if something bad were to happen, knock on wood, that it'd all be fine. But yeah, I talked about how like I've been reading a lot, and so I've been reading this book, The Moth, or it's by The Moth, called All These Wonders, collection of amazing stories. And I started this I think last week, or I think it was about last week, right? I'm losing track of time, but I've already read this much. I only have this much left. I've just been loving all the stories here, and I've also been reading The Messy Middle by Scott Belsky. It was a recommendation by Mark Champagne and some other people. Mark Champagne came on my podcast. And I love Scott Belsky, the author. He founded Behance and works at Adobe. He's like a venture capitalist at Benchmark. But the book's okay. I feel a little shortchanged. It's more like those books, like Scott Belsky also says in the book as well about how, you just come in and out, find the stuff that applies to you. And I think, that's practically what the book is better for. Yeah, it's okay. Although, I enjoy reading. I realized that more and more, like, I enjoy just sitting down in the morning and reading. Like, it's really fun for me. I love just sitting and thinking and reading, and I think that's what I love about doing what I do right now. Like, I get to sit down, read, think, write a blog every week, talk about shit on this this vlog, just talk about what I'm experiencing, and talk to people on the pod for the podcast. It's a lot of fun, and I think that's the kind of stuff I like. And I'm trying to do more of it as well, and try to make money doing it. So that's the next challenge. Um, but yeah, I think, you know, I'm trying to think of other developments, like health wise, all good. Training's starting to get better slowly, actually. I think my mind is a little more at ease, so training is getting better when my mind is less stressed. So I'm seeing that in terms of how my body feels. The weights feel smoother. The weight is also improving, so which is all great. I'm eating too many cookies, so that's an issue. But everything else is going well. Like, I showers every day. Well, actually, not every day now. I've been changing my morning schedule again. So I showers are more like 4 times a week on average now. Yeah, depending. Um, but yeah, fasting's great. I think I still fast on average about 17 to 18 hours. I missed the 16-hour mark twice this past week. They were both 15, so close enough, past the minimum threshold of 12, so that was good. Yeah, in terms of the products I had, so the essay I wrote this week is called Happiness is Like a Cloud, and it's just a feeling I have about how I think happiness is more like a state. It's not something it's it's like mastery. It's like you try to constantly obtain it, but you don't, like, it's not like this constant feeling of, ooh, I'm happy. I just don't think it's like that. I think it just kind of comes to you. And so it's a description about that, my experience with that. Because everyone just constantly asks me, are you happy? And I tell them, I don't know. I guess so. And it's just my initial reactions to that question. And then the podcast episode with Mark Champagne, I just mentioned how he recommended the Messy Middle book. So he is the co-founder of Kia, which is also pronounced Gyo, it's a Japanese word for today. And it's his story from going from big pharma to the world of mental fitness, and how he built this wellness app, and how he's so focused on helping people reflect their lives. So that was a really fun and somewhat therapeutic conversation. So I think you'll enjoy that as well. But yeah, so that's this week. That's been this week. Jam packed with a lot of things, actually. Now that I think about it, I've done a lot of things this week. A lot of developments, constantly moving forward, or at least getting fucking running into walls, and just trying to figure out how do I climb over this next wall that I run into. But yeah, without further ado, I will let you go on with your day. Thanks for tuning in, and I appreciate your constant attention and, yeah, attention and trust. All right, take care. Bye bye.